suspects. Welcome back to yet another live podcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back on this Tuesday night. We are 1 hour late. It's unfortunate, but yeah, sometimes things are beyond your own control, and you cannot dictate. You cannot force people to appreciate what you do. So it is what it is. Tonight, we'll be following the affairs from the UEFA Champions League, where Arsenal at halftime are leading against Inter Milan by 2-1, while Real Madrid against Monaco are 2-0 up, just as much as Tottenham Hotspur against Borussia Dortmund. So we'll be looking at those results. Kylian Mbappe, once again on target already. He's already scored 2 goals in that one for Real Madrid, and that means he's extended his individual tally to 11 goals of the campaign, because he came into match day 7 with already 9 goals to his name. So Gabriel Jesus equally with the brace for the Arsenal. Very, very interesting. But like we had anticipated, that Arsenal would concede today. It was almost a given, or very highly expected on my part. Remember, my prediction was a 2-2 draw, and it's 2-1 at halftime. Inter have looked really, really promising going forward. They've created some chances. They've not capitalized on all moments that they've, gone on with. But yeah, they've not looked like they were being played off the park, that oftentimes they got in behind that Arsenal team, and I almost got worried or felt worried for them, the manner in which it was happening. So yeah, that's what is happening for the UEFA Champions League tonight. Anyway, I even forgot to test our audience to make sure everything checks out, because I thought, having been 1 hour late, I just wanted to get into it. Really, if we are being honest, I just wanted to get into it and straight away to the thick of the action. But sometimes. Anyway, some things are better left unsaid. That's how I'll put it. That's how I'll put it. Instead of ranting or sort of wallowing or venting about it all. We already have somebody joining in, has a comment. Let me see. This is from Gabriel Pereira. Says, Hi, Gabriel Pereira. Good to have you on the broadcast. For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I'm coming to you live from Kampala, Uganda, where it's 2 minutes to midnight. Like I said, apologies for being late for our usual 11, our kickoff time for our broadcast. But it is what it is. I cannot control everything within my proximity. No, sorry, it's not Flash. This is Derek. Derek's says, hi, what's up? Hi, Derek's, what's up to you too? Good to have you on the podcast. Where are you joining us from? Please let me know where you're joining us from this evening. PSG against Sporting CP, I think that one should be 0-0 at halftime. You say, my 10, what's up? Good. I hope you're all doing okay. For those of you that are just joining us, it's a sports channel, it's a football channel. We get to talk about football. And like I said, we are following events from the UEFA Champions League, where at halftime, Arsenal have done tremendously well, and they find themselves in that 2-1 lead at halftime against the table leaders of the Italian Serie A in Inter Milan, who have scored the second goal of the UEFA Champions League this campaign against the Arsenal. That goal coming as an equalizer from Soshik. And it was really, really impressive to see. Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. Jesus Christ. Borussia Dortmund were reduced to 10 men thanks to Svensson a straight red card. Initially, it had been a yellow card, but it was converted into into a red card following a VAR review. But Dominic Solanke are there, back in the team, back on target. Hi, Pedri, how are you? Hey, tire buy. What's tire buy? Plenty of things have happened in the first stanza of the UEFA Champions League. But like I said, our main focus will be on that game between Arsenal and Inter Milan, with Gabriel Jesus already picking up a brace in that one. Luis Enrique had a brilliant moment when he went through, but he looked over his shoulder to the left, and there's nobody to play in, so he decided to go for goal. But he fired his shot wide of the mark. Watching along, yes. So, Jesus Christ. The game between Copenhagen and Napoli equally has a red card for a high tackle. I mean, what's happening with players tonight? 2 red cards already at halftime or by halftime? I mean, we have a red card in the Tottenham Hotspur game, and then Napoli are leading. Guess who the scorer is in that game? It's none other than the usual suspect in Scott McTominay, who I remember about a week ago or so, he scored a brace in one of those big Italian Serie A games. So impressive stuff. But Delaney got a red card in that one. So Napoli are leading Copenhagen by a goal to nil at halftime. Olympiacos are 2-0 up against Bayer Leverkusen, thanks to Constantina and Taremi. Yes, those are the goal scorers for Olympiacos. Real Madrid, like I told you, Kylian Mbappe with the brace, Vinicius Junior with the trivela of an assist. A beautiful interplay there between those two guys. I think they love playing with each other. Vinicius Junior seems to have I don't want to use. He must have come to the realization that he's better off, maybe helping Kylian Mbappe score as many goals as possible, as opposed to competing with him in terms of scoring goals, because I've seen it plenty of times this season where typical Vinicius Junior could have chosen to be selfish and go for goal because he's capable of going for goal, and he does score a good chunk of them, but he's chosen to pick out his teammate in Kylian Mbappe, and that's why the Madrid star has 11 goals to his name in as far as this campaign is concerned for the UEFA Champions League. Then quickly, like I said, Sporting CP against Paris Saint-Germain. That game is still goalless, while Tottenham Hotspurs lead by 2-0 against a 10-man Borussia Dortmund. Christian Romero and Dominic Solanke are the goal scorers in that one. Ajax and Villarreal, that one is still goalless, while in the earlier fixtures, you had Manchester City be thrashed by Bodo Glimt by 3-1. We're discussing the Manchester City game with Bodo Glimt earlier on. I think, was it today morning? I think with Pedri, one of the most usual suspects on this channel, and we were in agreement that Man City would win, although he had given Manchester City to win, I think maybe by 3-1. My own prediction had been a 2-1 victory for Manchester City. I thought they could find a way to pick themselves out of their ruins following that defeat against Manchester United in the Manchester Derby by 2-0 over the weekend. But it looks like their gods did not move with them to Norway, where they lost to Bodo Glimt in that small town. Again, Manchester City equally finished the game with a madness following the sending off of Rodrigo Cascante, who was sent off for 2 yellow cards in quick succession, really. And yeah, that's how they got reduced down to 10 men. And it's never pretty. But if you did watch I did not get the chance to watch the entirety of the game, minute for minute, because of bad internet. Internet is just bad. It's buffering minute after minute. I keep missing so many moments. So that's the unfortunate bit on my part. But at least I've been trying my best to follow. For example, all the goals against Manchester City, I could not watch them in real time. in real-time play, why? Because and I don't know why it happens so much that way, that when a classical moment or a pivotal moment is happening in the game, like when they're about to score or they actually scoring, that's when the internet chooses to buffer, and you think to yourself, you didn't buffer when they were in the middle of the pitch with the hard tackle. Then suddenly, when we were close to watching a goal, that's when you choose to buffer. Very frustrating, very frustrating. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll have to carry ourselves through it until internet stabilizes. I've already explained to you why internet is unstable in Uganda. But Hogg, I hope I pronounced this name Hogg. Bloomberg provided bursts of assists in that Manchester City game as Hogg scored a burst, while Haig also scored to make it a 3-0, while Ryan Cherki picked out what turned out to be Manchester City's only consolation. Meanwhile, Manchester City could have been beaten even more. It could have easily ended 4-1. It could have easily ended 5-1 in a game in which we saw, Max Alenye, Kushano, Rico Ruiz, Ryan Ashnori, almost same starting, backline that started against Man United. Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, Rodrigo Cascanti at the pivot, Tijan Reinders and Nico O'Reilly. Now, I don't know why. And I remember seeing this again over the weekend when they were losing to Man United. And I thought Man City could have used the double pivot over Rodrigo Cascante and Tijan Reinders, with Tijan Reinders playing as the eighth. He offers you much going forward as he does, coming, backwards. And yet Pep Guardiola, of course, being the manager he is, sometimes I feel he's overly confident in his abilities and the abilities of his team. Sometimes I think he tinkers with the team a lot too much, or a little too much than what you would prefer. We had Phil Foden play this game. I know in the morning Pedro was asking me whether Phil Foden will feature, and I said it looked very unlikely. But well, he did feature, and Pep Guardiola was saying he will play with a bit of a strap to protect his arm. And I thought to myself, and this is the second time I'm experiencing this, I do not know whether we are being misled when it comes to some player injuries, because a broken bone and a fractured bone or a bruised arm, those things should be separated. You cannot tell me that a player, he suffered a broken bone in his arm and then you play him. Really, why risk shattering it? Why? It doesn't make sense. And I remember again, Cole Palmer, he was returning from injury, and then they said in an accident, he had suffered, I think, a broken toe. Now, there's a difference between dislocating a toe or having a misstep and a broken toe, because a week later he was back, unless they have some magical medicine that those guys are using to but it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Pedri says, you told me Foden will not play in the weekend. Yeah, that's exactly what I was speaking about. I was saying that that Pedri was pushing me, asking me about Foden, and I said it was unlikely that he will play over the weekend because of a broken bone in his arm, as reported. But because to my defense, I mean, it sounds like it's common sense. Why risk a player with a broken bone? It's not like Man City are in lack of options, but football is with legs, not hands. I mean, guilty as charged. That's true. It's with legs, not hands. But how many times have we seen players miss games because of a shoulder injury, because of an arm injury? And the way it was communicated, do you remember Victor Gyökeres playing with bandages on his arm because apparently he had not broken, maybe injured one of his fingers? That I can understand. It's a finger. But an arm, a broken bone in the arm, really, make it make sense. Really. If I told you that I have a broken arm and then you find me in a sprint, you'll question the factuality of that. Not because I run using my arms, but because the hand is involved in motion. Now, football in its nature is a contact sport. So, what does that mean? What that means simply is that you can easily get into contact with an opponent and exacerbate that existing condition, you know? So, it does not make sense to me whatsoever why you would why you would risk a player to play with a broken arm, you know? So his inclusion in the starting 11 was as big as a surprise to me as it may have been to you as well. So contrary to what I had said in the morning, and it's not the kind of injury where you would say, "Oh, a player is doubtful." You know, Luca, hi, Luca. Good to have you, my brother. Good to have you back on the podcast. I hope you're doing well. So, anyways, all games have resumed for the second half, and action is ongoing. You know, missing match, but in the other earlier game, like I was saying, Club Brugge beat up against Kayati Almaty by 4 goals to 1, while Man City lost by 3 goals to 1. Man City are in a bit of a bad form. Their next game is going to be at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League. So, Jesus Christ, I'm struggling with brightness here. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't. I can't deal with that. My other source is had a change of screen brightness, and it was affecting me really. I could hardly see anything. All right. Says, I love you, brother. Thank you so much, Luca. From wherever it is that you're joining us. Okay. Speaking of Real Madrid against Monaco, they've looked sharper than, perhaps more sharp than I anticipated they would be, even though Pedri had predicted that they would lose by 3 goals to 0, which I predicted contrary to, and I said that they would win by 2 goals to 1. Yeah, so it is what it is. It is what it is in that regard. But yeah. So in case you find that missteps or mishaps in our feed, or the updates that I may provide you, please blame it on the bad internet that keeps buffering for literally for fun. Real Madrid looking for the third, and it's 3. It's 3-0. Franco Masantuano with a brilliant goal in that one there to give Real Madrid the third. Already in that 52nd minute of the second stanza, things are already happening for Real Madrid. Beautiful goal scored there. Keeper seems to fumble the ball, and then it's typical Real Madrid football, counter-attacking, very quick on transitions, and yeah. Goalkeeper doesn't even get anywhere near it. It's Vinicius Junior with the assist. I put it beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. Oh, Vinicius Junior. What a turn. What an assist. Again, in typical, like I was saying about Vinicius Junior's relationship with Kylian Mbappe. Lately, he seems less selfish. He's made the game less about him and more about his teammates in terms of team play. He's been much of a team player than ordinarily you have him, But yeah, on this side of things regarding Arsenal and and Inter Milan, I thought there's not much to separate the two sides beyond the goals in the opening half. On a good number of occasions, you had Inter Milan get in behind Arsenal. You had Bukayo Saka, who had sort of what you qualify for a half chance, that he blazed wide of the mark. So That was one of the key moments of the first half. Just like Luis Enrique had his own moments, and he blazed it wide of the upright. So, you know, but Real Madrid are playing some, really, really brilliant football. They're finding spaces in through that Monaco midfield. And, oh, wow. Leandro Trossard was this close to making it 3-1 for the Arsenal. And then at the tail end of that attempt, Belechi Eze could not come through at it. But brilliant, play there from Arsenal. Real Madrid looking for the fourth, and it's increasingly looking plausible that they will get the fourth before even Monaco respond, unless otherwise it will have to happen against the run of play. In the context of Arsenal and Inter Milan, like I was saying, not much has separated the two sides beyond the goals. When Arsenal scored their first goal, you felt the goal was coming. When Inter responded with the equalizer, you really felt it was coming. When Arsenal went through the second, it was a set-piece goal. Bukayo Saka with the deep corner kick, headed back across goal by Leandro Trossard, and Gabriel Jesus headed into an empty net with... I think it was Julian Timber was blocking off the Inter Milan player that was supposed to be marking out Jesus. And, so typical Arsenal scoring the 18th goal of the season from a corner kick. And it's 4. It's 4. 4 for Real Madrid and 0 for Monaco. It's an own goal. I just said this, really, really moments ago, that it felt like that fourth goal was coming sooner rather than later, really. And it hasn't taken long. And it has come. The goal has come. Let me try something audacious and I see if it will improve my feed. Otherwise, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with consistency here. Experience is no different. Oh, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate for Monaco. Now, this is typical Real Madrid. This is the Real Madrid we are accustomed to in the UEFA Champions League. This is the Real Madrid that you cannot write off. Inter Milan pressing Arsenal really hard for that equalizer. For those of you that are interested in knowing, contrary perhaps in some way to some of our predictions, but some are right. In terms of our predicted lineup, it's David Ryan, goal, Christian Mosquera alongside William Saliba, Maz Luis Kelly, and Julian Timber. Martin Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, and Belechi Eze. Then Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Bukayo Saka. Remember, we expected some team rotations ahead of this game because Arsenal have responsibilities to come against in the Premier League against Manchester United on Super Sunday. And on the other side, of course, they have a pretty strong bench that includes Ethan Wanye, who is bound for a loan spell with Olympique Marseille. Victor Gyökeres on the bench, Gabriel Martinelli, Noni Madueke, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Christian Norgard, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ben White, Tommy Setford, and Kepa Arrizabalaga. Speaking of, loan players, Arsenal agreed a loan deal with Ajax, but Ajax are trying to negotiate making that move more permanent as opposed to it being a loan. Thibaut Courtois with a brilliant save to deny Monaco getting a consolation in that one. But Ajax, according to Ben Jacobs, Ajax are negotiating with Arsenal to make Zichenko's loan move a permanent deal with a small fee. Be rest assured it's not going to be an expensive transfer. Arsenal cannot recoup even half of what they spent to buy the player back in the summer of 2022 in that period when he joined them from Manchester City for about £35 million. So I do not think they would even be more than glad to get a 15 million pounds for the 28-year-old Ukraine international. Arsenal trying to push here for the third, but still eluding them. Still eluding them. Oh, brilliant block from DiMarco to deny Bukayo Saka. Wow. Real Madrid are relentless. Oh, Adagula blazes it over the bar. Adagula blazes that over the bar. Dear Pedri, are you seeing how hot Real Madrid are? Are you seeing how hot Real Madrid are? Oh, Jesus Christ. Bukayo Saka slept on the job. Brilliant pass from Gabriel Jesus. But instead of taking that shot on first time, he hesitated and Inter were able to put in a brilliant block. Wow. Arsenal looking to make changes with Declan Rice set to be introduced. I don't know alongside who, but it's going to be, looks like it's going to be a double change. Inter Milan are bringing on Fratesi. They're, oh, it's Martinez and Nico Barella that are paving the way for Esposito and Esposito and Fratesi. Yes, those are the changes that Inter Milan have made, withdrawing Lautaro Martinez and Nico Barella for Esposito and Fratesi. Arsenal, I think, are looking to bring on, who is that? Is that Ben White or Kai Havertz? Oh. Yeah, it's Ben White coming on for Urian Timber, and then Declan Rice coming on for Ebeleche Eze. Ebeleche Eze getting an hour of play. It's not had much impact on the game. I still find his counter press a bit lacking. Wait, so if they, okay, it's a direct swap for right back for right back. Declan Rice's first responsibility is bringing a corner kick, but it's short of the expectations. Meanwhile, Ajax and Villarreal, that game is now 1-1. Tottenham still leading by 2-0 against Dortmund, as Olympiacos against Bayer Leverkusen. Napoli still leading by 0-0 against Copenhagen. Was that not soft? Oh, it's a foul. Christian Mosquera. Basically, Arsenal's game approach against Inter Milan has not been much different from what their approach was against Bayern Munich. They invite the press and then they go long. Ordinarily through, what's his name? Through David Raya. Mikel Merino, you didn't need to do that from behind. You knew it was going to be called for foul. Wow, what a brilliant goal. It's 5-0. It's 5-0 for Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. What a brilliant goal. It was a long time coming. Vini Jr. He's created so much for the others. He decided to take matters into his own hands. And what a brilliant finish. Monaco being taken to the cleaners. They're being humiliated. It's an utter humiliation here for Monaco. So many loose passes. Real Madrid, picking up on those, second balls and blind passes right in midfield, and then quickly dashing for it in quick transitions and counterattacks. And it's 5-0. Valo Abiola, really, really impressed with the team. And when Vinicius Jr. scored, he ran and hugged Alvaro Abiloa. Alvaro Abiloa or Abiloa. Another 6 is coming. Whoa. Adagula, so close and yet so far. Jesus Christ. Monaco begging for this to end. It could easily be 7 by now. But twice Adagula is missed. And none of the goals can really blame on the goalkeeper, for falling short of his responsibilities. It's just Monaco just having a bad day. Meanwhile, Arsenal, wow. Inter Milan twice have come close. One occasion forcing David Raya into a save to restoring parity. Our prediction for that one was a 2-2 draw. Inter Milan have scored 9 goals from corners, so they pretty much like Arsenal know how to make set pieces count. You may think Monaco playing with 2 men less. Nice cutback, but they couldn't keep it low. Goes over the bar. Is it a corner kick? Looks like it's a corner kick. There's a deflection in that. Oh. Monaco on the counter-attack, still trying to find a consolation in that game, but it's looking ugly for them. Really ugly for them. Arsenal have not looked too comfortable in this second half. Mikel Merino, as a midfielder, I can count on my one hand how many games I've watched him in midfield, and he's looked impressive. First top of the list would be that game against Portsmouth in the FA Cup where he played at the pivot or the best of midfield. But really, all the others I'd really even struggle to remember those performances because he rarely has a standout performance while playing in midfield. And today he's playing alongside Martin Zubimendi. Of course, now he has the support of Declan Rice. And he's sort of playing as the 10 in that midfield trio, but still, he has a slowness to his game that oftentimes I do not appreciate. Meanwhile, the UEFA Champions League returns next week, midweek, for the final games of the group stages of the league format. So Arsenal will be playing at home against Kairat Almaty. I think Real Madrid will be up against who? don't particularly remember, but Tottenham, no, Borussia Dortmund will be playing Inter Milan, in some of those fixtures. Let's see. Liverpool, Quarterback. Atletico de Madrid will play Bodo Glimt. Real Madrid will be away to Benfica. PSV will be at home against Bayern Munich. Man City will be at home against Galatasaray. Chelsea will be away to Napoli. Newcastle away to PSG. Juventus at home against Monaco. Sorry, away against Monaco. So those are some of the games that will be coming your way on match day 8. That will be next week, midweek. Then I think we'll take possibly a what? Not a break. To be fair to Monaco, Thibaut Courtois has had some saves. Oh, what was Mikel Merino thinking? Jesus Christ. The way he kicks DiMarco, I mean, that's way in midfield. You don't need to be clearing him like you're playing a golf ball. Like I said, I do not remember many performances of Mikel Merino in midfield where I've been impressed. And trust me, tonight is not one of those. He's done okay, but it's an average performance. Real Madrid taking off Franco Mastantuano. Victor Gyökeres and Gabriel and Christian Mosquera and Gabriel Jesus withdrawn for Gabriel Magalhaes and Victor Gyökeres. Wonderful performance from Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Magalhaes coming on to, get some 15, 20 minutes of game time ahead of that game against Man United over the weekend. He will be a very, very crucial player in that game. You can only hope that he doesn't pick up an injury in this one. Victor Gyökeres, player that is yet to find his best footing in this Arsenal team. I don't know. Sometimes it does feel like his teammates do not trust him enough. You feel that some have adamantly refused to play to his strength, particularly the captain, Martin Odegaard. I've seen Gyökeres in a good number of games when he makes a brilliant run and Martin Odegaard refuses literally to find him. And he chooses to go wide to a Bukayo Saka, to Leandro Trossard. Real Madrid finally concede or give one away to Monaco. It's 5-1 for Real Madrid against Monaco. So yeah, if you're just joining us, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I'm coming to you live from Kampala, Uganda, 34 minutes past the hour of midnight, or 0034 hours, East African time. Oh, Real Madrid trying to play from out of the back, and they fumbled that and conceded, and goes their clean sheet. So, and then the moments you've seen Bukayo Saka received the ball, and instead of playing a one-time whipping across the area for Victor Gyökeres to slide onto for a tap-in, he doesn't. He waits and passes it back to his overlapping fullback, to Martin Odegaard or to somebody else. So Victor Gyökeres seems to be in that phase of the game, of his game, where you feel when you run in the right positions, you're not found. And then when you do not make the runs, that's when they pretend or attempt to find you. And it can be discouraging sometimes, and it can be tiring. So when you look at, I think, the game against Nottingham Forest, I think he had about 10 touches on the ball. That's too few for a forward player, um, and or for an overall player in a game for involvement, But yeah, I really, really hope Arteta sticks by him. Must say, what is Mikel Arteta thinking? Martin Zubimendi should be one of the players that should be off by now. If you intend to play him over the weekend, he should be off by now. Bring Christian Nogard. Bring Christian Nogard. Bring an Ethan Wanyeri. You already have Rice. Can play at the pivot. And it looks like Gabriel Martinelli is the other player that will be coming on. He scored in 5 UEFA Champions League games, consecutive games, that is featured in for the Arsenal this season. Uh-oh. It could be Leandro Trossard that paves the way, or that was a poor cutback from Miles Lewis Kelly. Anticipate it could be Leandro Trossard that will be paving the way for Gabriel Martinelli. Christian Chivu trying to urge his team to push on with the press. Oh, Sporting CP find the lead against PSG. We're speaking about that game in the morning and are saying, I do not see a world in where Sporting CP win a game of football against PSG, and yet they found a lead after 75 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain. And that game is now 1-0 in favor of the home sides. Luis Suarez, the goal scorer in that one. Copenhagen is 1-1 against Napoli. And like predicted, Gabriel Martinelli is coming on for Leandro Trossard. Then Tottenham still up 2-0 up. Villarreal Ajax 1-1. So not much is changed in there. Could Gabriel Martinelli score in his 6th consecutive game for the Arsenal? And Arsenal, meanwhile, Arsenal looking to win their 7th consecutive game of the UEFA Champions League. And if they do win this game, the more or less guarantee their finish at the summit over the UEFA Champions League standings. Ahead of that game against Kairat Almaty. He overran that one. Gabriel Martinelli overran that one. You're not missing much. you're not missing much. Where it's 80, we're into the 81st minute of the game between Inter Milan and Arsenal. Arsenal still leading by 2-1. Last season, Inter Milan won this fixture by a goal to nil. That goal scored by Hakani Chanalolu. Because a victory will take Arsenal to 21 points as they wait for the likes of Bayern Munich to play tomorrow. I'm sure Bayern Munich will win tomorrow. Jude Bellingham looking to get his name on the score sheet, but shot is blocked by Zakaria. Danny Ceballos fouled near the slightly outside of the 18 yards box. Francesco Acerbi decided to hold Victor Gyökeres. Inter Milan are trying to stay in this game. Arsenal have been the better team in the second half, in my opinion, overall. Both teams have had some fairly good chances, but they've not made them count. Denzel Dumfries returns. Zielinski and Luis Enrique have been withdrawn for Diouf and Boni. It's not Dumfries. My bad on that one. Goal number 6 for Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham, at long last, gets himself on the score sheet. A 6-1 for Real Madrid against AC Monaco. Beautiful, beautiful goal. Runs up the goalkeeper and scores in an empty net. PSG have the equalizer against Sporting CP thanks to Kivica Kvaratskhelia. Luis Suarez's lead lasted only 4 minutes. Federico Valverde with the assist, but there was a dummy pass there. Was it by Dinhausen? Real Madrid have scored some really beautiful goals today. Brilliant block from Zubimendi. Senna trying to protect their gains. It's a goal. Arsenal lead 3-1. Who is the goal scorer? I'm yet to find out because my screen is slightly behind. But according to live score, Arsenal scored the third. Wow. Go and watch that goal by Kivica Kvaratskhelia. Wow, what a beautiful goal from Victor Gyökeres. They go on a counter-attack. He interplays in Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka seems to fumble the ball, bounces back to Victor Gyökeres in his path, and it goes for goal from the outside of the area, and it's 3-1. Victor Gyökeres. Looks like Arsenal bound to win this one. Beautiful run. He's not selfish. Plays in Saka. Saka dummies back to him outside of the area in that arc in front of the 18-yard box, and he goes for goal. Beautiful goal. Jan Sommer gets his hand to it, but it's not strong enough to put it wide of the mark. Beautiful, beautiful call. That's what you want to see in your striker. That's what you want to see in your number 9, in Victor Yokeres. I mean, every time he scores, I do feel extra happy for him because he needs as many goals as possible. That's 3 goals in 5 games in the UEFA Champions League. You remember he scored a bracer against Atletico de Madrid in Arsenal's 4-0 victory against Atletico de Madrid. And, Arsenal winning here. 3-1, they lead. If it stays that way, that means will be a strong win, especially coming off the back of 2 consecutive games in the Premier League without scoring a goal against Liverpool and against Nottingham Forest. This is the kind of victory that you need against a team such as Inter Milan, the leaders of the Italian Serie A, going into a very, very difficult game over the weekend against Man United. You need that confidence booster in your mental fortitude going into that kind of game. Some Inter Milan fans have started moving out, walking out of San Siro, seemingly unimpressed by the performance of their team tonight. We're into the 88th minute of the game. According to the commentator, Real Madrid have had 5 shots on target and they have 6 goals. Monaco have had more shots on goal or on targets against Real Madrid, but they have only 1 goal. So that speaks to what? Effectiveness, but also the goalkeeping prowesses of Thibaut Courtois. For the Arsenal game, all I can hope for is for Gabriel Martinelli to get himself on the score sheet. That's all I can hope for. Ajax leading against Villarreal by 2-1. Something about Antonio Conte and the UEFA Champions League ought to be investigated. It just does not have the luck for it. It just does not have the luck for it. It just doesn't have the luck for it. Uh-oh. Victor Yokeres is a bit selfish there, but I understand from a striker's perspective. Maybe could have turned to Gabriel Martinelli. Must have not seen him early enough, but tried to go for it. Blazes that wide of the back. Oh, to be honest, Monaco have not been as poor as the result may indicate in the overall context of the game. They just defended poorly, left themselves too exposed. was looking at that Arsenal AFTV squash prediction sheet for most of the pundits are on their hands. They went for 1-1 draw. There's only one that went for 2-2 draw. And I think it's only safe given the context of the game and what Arsenal have to come up against in the weekend that none of us expected that they would win tonight. I mean, it's against Inter Milan. Inter Milan are one of the most difficult teams to win against. Yes, I know they had lost 2 games coming into this fixture, but given that they do not concede so many goals, they were the second team to concede the fewest goals. In the UEFA Champions League this season, prior to this fixture, they had gone and conceded 4, and Arsenal had conceded 1. So now that means that with Arsenal's 3, they've conceded 7, while Arsenal have now conceded 2. You know, we're into the dying minutes of the game, and Real Madrid are still searching for that 7th goal. Oh. It's game over. Arsenal win the game by 3-1 against Inter Milan to retain their spot at the summit of the UEFA Champions League table. Of course, even if they had lost this one, they would have sort of retained that spot, waiting for for Bayern Munich to play tomorrow. But 7 wins out of 7, only 2 goals conceded, 20 scored. A beautiful game of football. Arsenal 3, Inter Milan 1. That's the final result of the game. Beautiful performance from Martin Zubimendi. Really kept things controlled in that midfield. Gabriel Jesus up front looked really, really sharp. The funny thing about Gabriel Jesus is that one player that I don't trust to score goals for the Arsenal. But when you least expect them, that's when he scores. And then when he scores the kinds of goals that make you think he's about to hit his best form, and then he sort of loses it, or it never falls in place for him. And meanwhile, Sporting CP have gotten the lead against PSG, and it's 2-1. It's 2-1 in the dying minutes of the game. Told you guys, PSG are beatable. They're a very good team, still are. One of the best there is in Europe, but they are a very beatable team this season. Give it a good go, and you will get at them. You will beat them. Anthony Taylor, the referee in charge of that game between PSG and Sporting CP. We are watching the final minutes. Can PSG find an equalizer before the blow of the final whistle? Luis Suarez. Oh. Okay, we are waiting for the conclusion of games between PSG and Sporting CP. Olympiacos and Bayer Leverkusen still on, with Olympiacos leading by 2-0. Villarreal 2-1 behind against Ajax. Copenhagen and Napoli is still 1-1. L- Larsson scored a penalty in that one to restore parity for Copenhagen. Meanwhile, Real Madrid have moved second on the UEFA Champions League table standing, something that will be the cause of pain for Pedri tonight. I told you we're never losing that game. Luca Maria, Mr. Tribe is married. PSG is losing. Loro, yeah, they are losing. Your prediction was 3-1. Looks like things are not happening the way we had hoped they would happen in that one. Um, Vinicius Jr. with the hat trick of assists and a goal of his own deserves man of the match straight away. What a performance from Vinicius Jr. Um, unless Pedro, you want to disagree, but that's been a wonderful performance from Vinny Jr. But also, do let me know who was your standout player as Arsenal beat Inter Milan by 3 goals to 1. I must say I did not see that one coming. But in football, anything is possible. But the way Arsenal did it, I was more convincing than I had hoped, than I had believed that they would be able to make it look like in today's fixture. And yet they come out on top, winning in Italy at San Siro by 3 goals to 1. Like I said, beautiful, beautiful performance. Gabriel Jesus and Victor Gyökeres, the players on target there. Tottenham Hotspur sneaking their way into fourth place undercover. I mean, for all, indeed, Vinny Jr. has been handed the man of the match accolade there. Indeed, Tottenham Hotspurs are sneaking their way into fourth place. You could say sneaking there. Why? Because for everything wrong they've done in the Premier League, where they've lost now 9 games so far, they seem to have done certain things right in the UEFA Champions League. In any case, they've won 4 games, they've drawn 2 and lost only 1. They've scored 20 goals, conceded 10, and that's impressive. I think, in fact, they are equivalent on goals scored. Sorry, Tottenham have scored 15 goals. They've conceded 7 and have goal difference of 8. PSG and Arsenal, after 7 games played, are the most scoring teams of the UEFA Champions League, having scored 20 each, although PSG have conceded 10. Of course, Bayern Munich play tomorrow, and I do suspect Bayern Munich will score a good chunk of goals, as they often do in the UEFA Champions League, tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow Bayern Munich are in action against Bayern Munich are in action tomorrow against Union St. Cloisy. That's at home against at the Arianza Arena, where they often win for fun. So yeah. Gabriel Jesus, man of the match, had to disagree with you on that one. So Arsenal qualified for the round of 16. Others may have to wait a little bit, and we see how the final match day plays out. I do suspect Arsenal could go on to win all 8 games of the league phase, because their next game is going to be at home against Kairat Almaty. Now, it will be embarrassing for them. Not that it can't happen, but it will be in somewhat embarrassing if you beat up against Inter Milan away from home and then can't win against Kairat Almaty at home, in a game where you anticipate that Mikel Arteta will field a very changed 11. Pedri says nze ndowooza anti Gabriel Jesus alina obusobozi obw'okulwanisa obulwadde bwa siriimu. Jesus Christ, why are you talking about HIV AIDS in context to Gabriel Jesus? What are you trying to say? Because if you, I don't know, because your statement says that I think Gabriel Jesus has the ability to fight HIV AIDS. What does that have to do with anything? You're murdering the language there, I suspect. But yeah, it's all finished. All games are wrapped up from the UEFA Champions League tonight. Beautiful performances in regards to today's results. Results kicked off with Club Brugge beating Kairat Almaty away from home by 4-1. Man City losing to Bodo Glimt by 3-1. Ajax managed to beat Villarreal by 2-1. Very variable 3 points there for Ajax to try and bring back their confidence. Pedri says Nedda okuvunula okwo kucham. That's what you said in the comment. So I don't know what comment you gave to Google or whichever your translator app is that gave you that return of a comment. But yeah, be careful. They may not be 100% right for those translators. Anyways, so then Borussia Dortmund losing to Tottenham Hotspur by 2-0. Christian Romero and Dominic Solanke on target for those ones. While Sporting CP have managed to beat up against Paris Saint-Germain by 2-1, thanks to a brace of goals by Luis Suarez. While in the first half, you had Warren Zaire-Emery scored a goal that was ruled out by VAR in the 30th minute, and then Kivica Pravaskelia had scored the equalizer in the 79th minute. But like I said, Luis Suarez had other ideas. Woteri ki gy'osinga okwagala mu nsi yonna, burgers or pizza? When you say woteri, woteri means a hotel. And then when you come out to say what it means, you're asking me what's my favorite hotel in the world, and then you say burgers or pizza. Now a burger is a food and a pizza is a food. So again, do not trust that translator too much. Luis Suarez or Barcelona, no. So anyway, quickly. Of course, Monaco got trounced 6-1 against Real Madrid, with Kylian Mbappe picking up a brace in that one. Jude Bellingham, Franco Mastattuano, an own goal by Kera, as you know, the players on target. Vinicius Jr. with a hat-trick of assists there. 6 shots on target for Real Madrid, as well as 6 for Monaco, and 10 off target for Real Madrid and 9 off target for Monaco. So you can see that the result is not consummate of what exactly the performances were in there. But Monaco being very horrible in their defense. Olympiacos put 2 past Bayer Leverkusen, while Napoli shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw against Copenhagen. I think that one, Napoli will know that's a missed opportunity for them, given that Copenhagen were down to 10 men. With those results tomorrow, this is the action that is to come your way in the early kickoffs at 8:45 p.m. Galatasaray will be up against Atletico de Madrid. Karabakh will take on Eintracht Frankfurt. Olympique Marseille at 11 p.m. will be up against Liverpool. Newcastle will take on PSV Eindhoven. Slavia Praha will be up against Barcelona. Juventus will take on Benfica. Chelsea will be at home against Pafos, while Bayern Munich will be at home against Union St. Gloise. Atlanta will be at home against Atletico Bilbao. Pedri says tukwagala nnyo kola bulungi tukwagala kola bulungi, you like me for doing well. Basically, that's what you're saying. You're saying Marseille will win the game by 2-1 against Liverpool. Marseille is a very good team. They're just inconsistent. They're inconsistent. But if there's one manager that you can also count on to try and mastermind or orchestrate a result against a team the size, the opponent of Liverpool, then Roberto Di Zerbi can be one of those. He's destined to sign Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal on loan. I was reading some comments that they had reached an agreement with Feyenoord to sign Quinton Timber, the brother to Jurgen Timber. So yeah. Then, in terms of those results, here are the implications of the on the table. Arsenal retained their top spot at the summit of the league standings of the UEFA Champions League with 21 points. Real Madrid moved second with 15 points. Bayern Munich dropped to third with 15 points. I think football forgot about Di Zerbi. He should have went to a bigger club. Well, that's the opportunity that fell in his lap. But you never know. Maybe his day will come for a bigger opportunity. Then Tottenham Hotspur fourth with 14 points. PSG slipped to fifth with 13 points, while Sporting CP, following that victory over PSG, moved sixth to 13 points. Manchester City are now seventh with 13 points. Atlanta eighth with 13 points. Inter Milan have slipped from fourth place to ninth with 12 points. Atletico de Madrid in 10th place with 12 points. Some of these teams are yet to play their match day 7 game. And then you have Liverpool 11th with 12 points. Dortmund 12th with 11 points. Newcastle 13th with 10 points. Chelsea 14th with 10 points. Barcelona 15th with 10 points. Olympique Marseille. So, meaning Barcelona are one victory away from climbing as high as 9th or even possibly 8th. So, Olympique Marseille are 16th with 9 points. Juventus, that means if Marseille can beat up against Liverpool, they'll go level on points. Juventus 17th, Galatasaray 18th, Leverkusen 19th, Monaco 20th, all with 9 points. PSV 21st and 22nd, Olympiacos, Napoli 23rd, Copenhagen 24th, all with 8 points. In what would pass for the drop zone is Quarabag, Club Brugge, Bodo Glimt, Benfica, Pafos, Union Saint-Gilloise, Ajax, Athletic Bilbao, Eintracht Frankfurt, Slavia Praha, Villarreal, and Kairat Almaty. So Benfica need to win their game tomorrow against Benfica need to win their game tomorrow against Juventus to brighten their chances. With that victory, Ajax moved to 6 points. Unfortunately for them, they will have to hope that if they win their final game, and the likes of Copenhagen, Napoli, Olympiacos, PSV do not win their games, they can move in within 9 points. That could possibly get them into those playoff places really going into match day 8. So that's what's up to come your way. Okay, let's see some okay. Let's see if we can get some quick reaction from some online fans regarding to that Inter Milan game. Um, okay, okay. Looks like those that commentary is falling far off. This is Hand of Arsenal says professional performance at an iconic ground, 7 changes, and we still look relatively comfortable against Inter Milan. Top spot secured, absurd form in UEFA Champions League. Massive credit to Arteta, 1 win away from perfect European form. Yes, perfect European form. Okay. Then that's from the Hand of Arsenal. Ah, Jesus Christ. Guys, remember social media is blocked in Uganda. So me trying to find those comments becomes twice hard to get the kind of comments that I would want to relate to you in uh, Arsenal fans seem to be basking the idea that they've advanced to the next round there. Anyways, guys, allow me to leave it at that. It's been 1 hour. It's already 1 a.m. here in Uganda. So have yourselves a blessed night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to further digest what just transpired from tonight and also look forward to what will have to come on Wednesday night. Bye-bye for now.